Hey, everybody. Pleased to be joined now by PFL Featherweight. He's got a fight coming up with Lance the Party Palmer. It is Super Steven Siler. Steven, it's interesting. I do a variety of podcasts, and the other day we did a podcast on the Ultimate Fighter 14 finale, which was interesting because you were a part of the Ultimate Fighter 14, and I had no idea. It had been like 6 years since that show had wrapped up. What's this journey been like for you? Because everybody seems to get into mixed martial arts for different reasons. Some want to make it big. Some want to just test themselves. You're still around 6 years later after your breakout, and trying to make a name for yourself and make a ton of money across the way. What's it been like though since the show and where you're at now?
It's been fun. I mean, definitely been interesting. Travel different organizations, trying to fight as often as I can. My goal is to get over 100 professional fights, so I'm just trying to keep active, which hopefully the PFL season next season kind of helps out with activity. But it's been nice. I just enjoy fighting too much to stop. So I got a day job now, so I'm making money on the side doing that, so I'm not relying on fighting full time, but I just love it too much to quit.
That's interesting. You mentioned a day job. I talked to a variety of fighters, and working for Invicta, the ladies over there, they come from all walks of life. Some are full-time fighters, others are stay-at-home moms, others do all three, fighting, mothers, leading a professional life as well. There are sometimes red flags, though, when a fighter says they're working a full-time job and fighting on the side, especially when someone like yourself is fighting Lance Palmer, who, absolutely day in, day out is training. Obviously, you're training as well, but I'm curious because I think that your experience may not be necessarily, I think your experience is actually one of the reasons I think that it would not be a red flag for you to be a full-time worker in the day and a mixed martial artist at night. Because I mean, you've fought under the brightest light. So tell me what that's like, though. Is it a detriment at all? Fighting and working a day job and providing.
Well, that's the thing. I said I got a job. Never said a full-time job.
Okay,
I work
there
7
we
to
go.
11. I only work part-time. I work 7 to 11. Once 11 o'clock comes, I usually get ready. And then my main training partner is Court McGee, and we kind of work around each other's schedule. We try to book our fights around the same time, so we're in camp around the same time. We kind of work each other, whatever works for us. If I have something come up today, like I had some interviews today, we push practice back to 1 or later. We just work around our own schedules. And then so I work 7 to 11, get ready, head of the gym, hang out at the gym. I work from home. I mean, I do credit repair online, and I literally play PlayStation for 4 hours of the morning till I get ready to go to practice. So nothing hard on the body, nothing like that. And then, I'm still training twice a day, getting ready, for the fight just as any other fighter. I mean, you don't need to work out, 17 hours of the day. You just only work out, 4 or 5, just kind of working between my hours.
Sure, that's good. You need that video game time too, for sure. That little mental break.
I didn't used to. Once I had my first kid, he never gave me a chance to play video games, so I got rid of my PlayStation 4. And then once I got the day job, I'm like, I can't sit here on the computer for 4 hours and do nothing.
Right.
So we re-inherited the PlayStation 4, and I just switch it up between sport games every day while working.
That's nice. What are you playing right now?
I'm on MLB The Show right now. Baseball season's finishing up, and I'm still playing a little bit of that. Then I'll probably get in some NBA 2K here in the next couple weeks.
Nice. You got to change with the seasons. I like it. Let's talk a little bit about Lance Palmer. This is your PFL debut. The PFL is coming out doing a lot of different things, saying some things, trying to make some waves. You fought all over the place. The Ultimate Fighting Championship. We saw you in Titan FC. What was it about this opportunity with PFL that caused you to sign with this organization and move forward?
Well, first, obviously I signed with the World Series first, which became PFL, but just Ray Safeld, man. Ray is an amazing guy. He's there for the fighters. They paid me great. They treated me really well. My first show I was out there, felt like I was in the UFC all over again, how professional they were. And they have tough matchups. Andre Harrison, I fought him to a split decision. He's I mean, he's well deserved. Needs to be in the UFC. Should have been in the UFC. Lance Palmer should have been in the UFC by now. We all have the top 45ers. I mean, we have a really good list of 45ers here at PFL. So, I want the competition. I want to have fun, and also eventually I want to win that $1 million.
Yeah, I mean the money I think is the big thing that is setting PFL apart. And obviously World Series, PFL, it's all the same, it's semantics, but the attitude and the approach that the Professional Fighters League is bringing, mainly the money, the tournament, it's almost like a make or break proposition for the company. And I think as a fighter, it's got to feel sort of special to be a part of that, because I mean $1 million in mixed martial arts for anybody at this point, that's a ton of money. To do it when you're one of the smaller promotions, it's a huge investment. What does that mean to you to see the higher ups within this company go, you know what, we're all in, and we're all in on these guys?
Well, like I said, Ray, like you could tell he's there for the fighters. He wants what's best for them. So, I'm glad they're all working for us. I was just telling one of my training partners the other day who's working to get in the UFC, and I love being in the UFC. Being in the UFC was a great part of my life, but I was there for a little over 3 years, and I came nowhere close to $1 million.
Right.
So if I'm able to do that 1 year in the PFL, like, man, it was way worth it just being in the PFL for 1 year. Then, like, I quadrupled my income from the UFC. So I'm definitely excited for the opportunity. Plus, it sounds like I'm gonna have activity. I love fighting as much as possible. UFC, I was able to fight 3, maybe 4 times a year. Where hopefully this time I'm able to get 7 or 8. And I love fighting. I didn't get in the sport to make money, even though that's the biggest part now. I came in the sport to fight, and the more I can fight, the better it is.
You bring up wanting to fight like 100 times before your career is done. That tells me you're thinking about things like legacy. You're thinking about what impact you make on the sport, or just what journey you take throughout this process. What would it mean to you to be one of the first few martial artists to win a tournament and get a 7-figure check? Like, that doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't, and it'd be amazing. I just had my second baby 3 months ago. I got a family to feed and lives to provide for, and an opportunity like this doesn't come around very often. And so, I'm hoping. Obviously, I want to be the first one to win it, and I want to be able to provide for my family and keep fighting. So, my wife will let me keep fighting for a long time once I win that money.
You're kind of reading my mind here. You bring up your wife. It's kind of where I want to go to. I, like you, have a family. I have a little boy. And when you get married, and then when you have a kid, or whatever way it comes, you start to realize that you have some mortality. You have to provide. You have to support. If something were to happen to you, all these things that you never really think about as a young man start creeping into your mind. Is your family on board? Because you're putting your life at risk every time you go out there. Even when you train, crazy things can happen. I know people don't have the best insurance, and more often than not, the real injuries come inside the gym. Is your family fully behind you in your mixed martial arts efforts?
Well, the kids, they don't really understand. I got a 3-year-old and 3-month-old, so it's not like they really. I mean, he just sees daddy fight, and he always wants to be part of it. I think he compares it more to WWE wrestling because he's obsessed with wrestling in general. We watch pay-per-views together. We watch old school wrestling. He just compares it to that all the time. And so he just loves seeing me fight in general. I mean, there's times in practice where me and Court will be drilling takedowns, and he'd take me down, and Jaden wants to be the referee and counts 1, 2, 2 count. And, like, you can tell, like, Court's all for, but there's times where he's like, dude, we need to get him out of the way. He's getting involved.
Right.
But yeah, so he likes it just as much as like wrestling, so he doesn't understand. It's a little harder for the wife because there's nights where, she cooks dinner and I don't get home till 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock sometimes, and like her whole life revolves around my weird schedule. She's, she's doing things where she has the insurance, so she works the job as well. She's also doing really well in real estate, so she's helping out the family financially. Plus, she has insurance in case something does happen. But there's just the schedule of me being there for her, and when we could travel or when we could do this. Like, babe, I'm in fight camp. We can't leave to this state right now just because you want to go out and travel. I'm in camp.
Right.
So her whole life's revolving around me. So I mean, there's times you can tell it gets frustrating for her.
Right.
Yep.
Obviously, this fight, I mean, you got a long way to go to the $1 million, but do you even speculate what you would do with the money with your wife? Do you maybe rally her back to the cause by saying, look, I could win $1 million and we could make all of our dreams come true?
That's always, that's a pushing point, but she's more of a, I don't know. She wants me to be there for the family, and
Right.
she wants me to be there all the time and hang out with her, and but she is she's very.
Steven, it sounds like she likes you. I mean, geez.
No, I seriously don't know why. I'm like, why do you want to be around me? Like, there's also times I'm dieting. I give Honorary sometimes, like, why do you want to be around me when I'm dieting right now? I'm tired after training. Like, why would you want to spend time with me? But she must have married me for a reason. So
there you go. All right, final question. We'll get you on your way. Lance Palmer's a very tough guy. Been around for a long time. Fought for titles. Has held titles. I'm curious what you think this fight looks like. How do you want to get it done? And if you had a finisher for your son, what would the finisher be?
Well, obviously, his biggest thing is the RKO. So yeah, maybe when Lance takes a shot, I turn around and turn an RKO and knock him out with that. I think that would make my son's dream come true. But I'm going to go in. I'm going to punch Lance in the face as much time as possible, and hopefully he goes cold at one time.
There we go. Steven Siler, appreciate it. Congratulations on a long run in mixed martial arts. It's very hard to get to prominence. It's even harder to stay there. And, over half a decade into this thing, we're still talking to you, and you're fighting at the highest level. So best of luck, and, go get that money for your family.
Awesome. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.